Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ninth episode of The Plight of Princes. Where we last left off, our group of miscreants. Can I check? Has it only been a week, or has it been a little longer? I don't know. Time has just ceased to be for me.
It is 1 week, yeah.
Oh god, we've had
Sorry.
sessions 2 weeks in a row.
We actually played
We
2
actually-
consecutive weeks. Now the world must end.
It's been 1 week
Nani?
since we last played.
Where last we left off, the party left the small, primarily orcish settlement of Carhold to the 11th of the 10 towns, having been dueled, or more or less instigating a duel, which then turned into just a mobbing, of some sort of hellish, fiendish, or demonically otherwise knight and his nightmare steed. The party did request that these miscreants were requested by the leader of the town to make their way up up the actual King's Road, and from that they can find one of the guards of the road. There's only a select number of them, but they're an elite group that patrol the roads and protect people who wander it when they can. Additional to that, these people have been given a letter. Hand it to one of these guards. They will come and help protect the city of Carhold, as well as give it legal protection, and actually have representatives from the 10 towns there standing, as most of Carhold are refugees currently. The small D&D group then made their way up the Northern Means Road and up the High Road itself, turning off into a forest, and after a decent period of travel, a few hours, they found themselves entering a glade, having seen the remnants of somebody who was not welcome to this forest be overgrown and taken by the wood. They find themselves entering a portion where the hanging down vines and vegetation spread like a pair of pulled drapes, and they stepped through to see, of the 4 entrances that there are to this glade, 3 of them have a scarecrow propped up high on a wooden post staring out, all except the one that they've entered through.
Ooh, whoops.
What's up?
Nothing, keep going. Misclicked.
Okay. The party then found themselves looking about the glade, and within the glade they saw this individual who looked like she belonged to the forest. Her skin was the texture of bark, but it moved like flesh. Her hair was long and this almost vine style that at points had, where you would embed jewelry to your hair in a design, would be flowers and portions of leaves and growths. A dryad working in this small, very, well, small by the comparisons of a large or a produce creating farm. This small garden has plant and flower life and vegetation from across Faerun and beyond. Many forms of plant life that you haven't ever seen before, and things that shouldn't belong. Certain vegetation that have the entire different coloring that it would suit it, and not just like inverted colors, say a green carrot with an orange top, but purple with a bright red. Many different vibrant colors and beautiful things as you see about it from the vegetation. Nothing is just a simple green. Everything has its own unique hue. Everything in its own way is a very delicate touch. You can hear the singing of a soft female voice, and as you look, you see bare-skinned, but looking away from you into a pool that is at the bottom of a very small, maybe 10-foot waterfall, with the very smoothed out over time stone all about it. A humanoid-looking woman whose hair is very, very long, and it becomes almost this, as you're there, varying and almost as if it's washing between variants of color as it goes. From this bright and soft yellow to this darker red to a deeper brown to white, and from the white then to blonde again. And back forward, matching to cycles. And in this glade, at the very back, furthest from where you are, you can see that there's a large tree. And almost coming from around the tree, as if the tree rose up and the house was then built. Or even looking more as you look and spend a moment studying it, it looks as if the tree came out from beneath the house, as you can see the splinters of the roofs all around it. With a simple design of molded clay around the front of the house. The windows are simple wooden square-shaped frames, and the chimney coming up is a red brick color with a plume of this almost very, very faintly white, if not almost translucent, seeing of the heat waves rise up from the chimney. And stepping out from the house, you could see this, whilst very large in regards to her height, gangly formed elderly woman. Hunched forward massively. Her face is just an amalgamation of wrinkles. You're not even sure where the eye slits are amongst them. She's older, and she's a plump woman. Her nose is long with a crooked point, as if it had been snapped or damaged at some point in her life, or maybe just bent. Pimples dot across the top of her nose. Her hands are long, uneven finger lengths, and multitude of additional joints where there shouldn't be. And two of them, the two that are the one at the garden and the older woman, both turn to look towards you all as you enter the glade. As you're there, the wooden woman stands up and begins making her way towards you. You can see that she looks as if she's a woman in her mid-years. She isn't older, but neither is she a youth, but you can see that this is... And bare, she wears no clothes, but simultaneously her skin is of bark. But she is more or less a figure whose body can be best described as a very slight point coming down from the head, where it goes out just wider to widened hips than to normal legs. She steps towards all of you, and you can now look about, and you do see there's fauna here, some of which are following about her as she moves. Small rabbits, birds flutter above you. And she looks and makes eye contact with every one of you who looks towards her. Hello. Who might you all be?
If no one else is going to, King will introduce herself.
Oh god, everybody's
And
embarrassed.
nobody's standing forward. Okay.
Awkward silence.
I am King, and these are my fellow travelers.
Ah, hello, King. It is a pleasure. What brings you here to our little glade?
Looks at loyalty.
Do you look back at Kika?
Looks at the loyalty.
We are here in search of an acquaintance. Shall we say acquaintance? Acquaintance of our friend Logan.
An acquaintance? But it would only be me and my two sisters here. And she looks then, and there's a long time where she seems to now address the fact that loyalty is there, but also Kika. Okay. I think I might understand why you've come, or why you've been sent. But before you cross the threshold, I must ask you, who gave you this location, because that is quite important.
Um. That was, so.
Breathe.
all the feathers like inflate and deflate. That would be the best name would probably be the lady in red.
Oh yes, Mother. Very well. Please come in.
There's just the blink of what?
She didn't stutter.
Lo is just looking at Kika.
Kiko, you have more cousins.
Help! What do I do? Help!
I don't know what to do.
I do a slight curtsy and I say in Sylvan, thank you for your help.
Her ear does prick when you speak in Sylvan, but she doesn't respond. And she waits for you to step in.
Well, she's told us to go in, so I guess we just go in.
Okay.
We must just step in nervously. it's
You
the
guys hopping in?
it's that nervous of I'm leading, but I don't want to lead.
Lo is just like, I don't know what's going on.
I put my hand out. I put my hand out like royalty is off the do, offering my hand out and say, "Which X shall we?"
Sure.
Whatever. Fuck
We're
you.
done. Already.
With
Are
that,
we going
Lo
in with
just-
A character that does not need sleep, but permanently sounds tired.
Kills?
Coming in with me, Widdick?
Yes, I said sure.
Alright. Me
Sure.
and Widdick going in.
Okay. You both step in, and as you do, you can just see something sprouts up from the ground.
Das.
Yes, girls.
What?
Good time to interrupt you. Can I make an insight check?
You may make an insight check.
It's probably a smart thing to do.
I'm gonna turn my camera off because I'm lagging a lot. Not a good roll for me.
No. She seems genuine, and she seems like there was a moment of being guarded which lowers once the name is dropped.
Medium don't feel like she's gonna kill.
Medium.
On a scale of 1 to might kill us, maybe. Okay, so you step.
I would say that Lo will, ever so slightly shaking, offer a sort of arm like this to Kika. It's like, well, shall we?
She's a bit confused and then looks at you and just instead actually just like holds your hand rather than your heart. Hold your hand just like this thing.
That's better actually. Yeah, that's
I like this. I like this.
I like this too. Okay.
Holding
Wittick
the man's
and
hand.
King. Wittick and King, as you step in, from the ground, it's almost like a vine. It just shoots up, and there's a moment where you both step a little bit back, but one leech launches up and wraps around each of your wrists. One of your wrists, each, as you enter.
My good wrist? Like my fleshy wrist or my bony wrist?
I mean, good. That is good question, King.
Wow.
The wrist you can't take off.
The non-detachable one.
Your non-detachable wrist.
Well, I mean, any wrist is detachable if you try hard enough. So.
I was gonna say, technically, any is disattachable. Just takes a little
So we'll
more.
take the fleshy one anyway. Alright, so now what?
I didn't say anything. You just step in.
Alright, we got a thing attached to our wrist.
If I keep moving forward, does it move with me?
Oh, it's on your wrist. Like, it's off the ground. It's not connected to the ground at all.
Oh,
It's
okay.
literally...
Okay.
You're not
Oh,
tethered.
so basically what you're saying is we got our club,
You got a bracelet put on.
and we're good to go. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you can
Accessories.
wristband.
Now, if you leave and come back in, we're gonna have to charge you another trip.
But I got my hand stamped.
No, that's the stamp from down the road. That's with the fiend cult. You can't come in.
Yeah.
It's-
The Fiend Cult uses
Anyway.
the stamp. They use the freaking wristbands.
Yep.
They're the better people. They don't, mess up your skin.
So, does Loyalty and Kika come in next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I expect it's a case of right. One tries to go forward, but the other one is sort of okay, no, hang on. So it's a case of right. We go together and like left, right.
It's like that freaking bird that as it walks is going do 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 because it goes. And one tries to take a step forward, and there's just this okay, you know,
The staying alive bit. No,
Dad,
never
can I
mind.
ask a question?
Please do!
Sorry. No, shut up.
So, the Dryad lady has gone in with the other two. Are the other two sisters still out here?
They're both still outside. Or the older one is turning away and she's going in, but the youngest one is not looking towards any of you. She's still looking away towards
Doesn't
the water.
even seem to notice we're here. Okay,
If she does notice you, she is not addressing you right now.
fair enough. Oh god. Decisions.
Currently, we've got those two walking through. As Loyalty and
Trying
Kika do
to.
pass, as you eventually manage to pass the threshold, two birds, one lands on one of your shoulders each, one on your left, one on your right. Well, one of yours left shoulder, the other one's right shoulder.
That's just. But what are they just? I'm trying to picture. What are they walking into like a building?
Essentially,
or a-
no, they're not walking into a building.
It's
It's
a
more or less
glade.
there's a threshold to the glade that's
To the
these
glade
vines
itself.
that have been draped over. Think of like curtains that pull back and up. They're essentially like lifted up and out of the way, and it's when you walk through like the darker green natural area to this far more lighter colored green grass that you're entering into. That's when the bird landed or the vine rose up.
Are we sure the birds and the vines and whatnot? That's not.
Oh yeah, you see them as the person steps in, but it doesn't seem to cause anyone any distress.
Renara,
Want to go in or wait or? I don't
I don't know about this.
know if I like.
No, when I thought you were having a realization, then I realized you were yawning. Because you're like, oh!
I might
I'm
wait
tired, boy. Why?
I love you.
Oh,
You stay out here, Rosie?
I might just keep watch,
Okay,
just in
well,
case anything.
well, I can't let you wait alone, I guess. I'll wait.
It
It's
would
up
be
to you,
much
I mean, I
safer
don't-
to be within the glade than without, currently.
Inside.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Oh
Uh,
no brain cell here.
Ah.
Team Normal has
No,
not got
they
the brain
have
cell
they
to-
have the brain cell. The brain cell is I don't trust you.
the brain cell is I don't trust this. Unfortunately, the brain cell is also like fuck you.
To give you an idea, it does seem like it's a genuine thing on our part to step in. That it would be. It's one of those things of like, What's the best analogy I can give? Without using Irish fables.
That's never a good sentence. I know too much about the Fae for this.
Does Posey? Anyway.
Don't let-
Probably, Posey
Can we
doesn't know
all-
anything.
Don't let it
Don't we
cloud
all
your
know that the
judgment.
Tuatha De Danann?
Or is this the
It's
Toad
not
of
the
the Nath?
Tunagon. You're not. No, not them. Don't worry. They're actually in the Feywild.
Oh, cool. That comes later then.
Yeah, this is lower level stuff. You get up against them. Good luck.
Potentially imminently, depending on how this goes.
It's the concept of wolves come out at night, sort of thing, and it is getting closer towards the evening. You know, safer to be within the threshold
Right.
than without.
Wait,
I just kind of nervously look at Runara.
if something dangerous comes, then we can jump in, right? And then we're fine, or
We let things out to keep the forest safe at night, so it would be wise to be within.
then don't hurt us more like that if we're not.
You see how your friends have little associations right now? Those keep you safe in the forest until you leave. Well, safe from... And she looks up towards the scarecrows.
Ooh.
These fucking things from Divinity.
Oh, it's fucking 3.
Need a person.
I'm trying to figure out why the fuck my lights just changed them.
Haunted.
I really don't wanna.
I'll go. You go.
Oh, don't check that. Don't put it on me.
If it makes either of you feel better, my name is Teldaki. And you are welcome here.
I kind of lean over to Runara. Like, that's a good sign.
Is it? I don't know.
Make a history check, one of you.
Oh, go for it.
No, it shouldn't be me.
It'd definitely be you.
Look, neither of you are smart women, but one of you's got a better shot than the other.
You had a better shot than me.
Dumb, no brain.
My -1.
You think
Fucking
back
Team normal
to...
over here.
Well, I'd say that passively Renara would have rolled the same, so... Because it was 10 minus 1.
It's for shit. It's not much better.
Actually, DC was 10. You remember this, Renara, from your discussions when you last encountered the Lady in Red. Names are important and hold power. And she just gave you hers.
Fine, let's go in. Cozy. Let's go.
Okay, I'm following you.
Hey,
I
oh,
follow Runara.
step in.
Okay. As you both step in on both of your pinky fingers, you just see that there is just the tiniest little caterpillar that is just chilling. Ollie steps in, a badger lands on his head, and he goes sits in a corner.
Oh.
What if you mean Serenus, not Ollie?
No, Oliver
No,
raised...
Ollie.
Ollie came in. Ollie
very
himself
confused.
came in.
Now here.
He's sitting in the corner with the badgers and the puppies. Well, no, the puppies are
Oh.
the boss. And Serena sits in the corner and meditates and just focuses in on just how much Fae is about him and how much nature. Basically, Superman is looking at the sun right now going, this is good shit.
Speaking of being happy to be in the Feywild, I'm going to drop that to guys. No sense in having it in here.
You drop the guys, and there's just no change on any of the ones who are looking at you. It's faces. Once the last two step in and get their little effigies currently, the woman who is at the waterfall turns and faces you all the nymph. Now that you've all been marked, and you won't go blind by looking at her.
Always good.
Yeah.
That was the name of the dryad.
Hey?
Hey!
I'm sorry, you go blind looking at a nymph? What?
Yeah, that
Yep.
can happen.
Yep. Even your ass.
Interesting.
If you see one naked, you can drop dead. And it doesn't care what goes on in your pants. And as she turns and gets up, her hair is hanging long over herself, and she just pulls this very soft silken clothes over herself. Very simple but fashionable. And her hair just sticks onto this large, not mess, but like say a very well brushed large poof of hair that goes down to long, down maybe to the small of her back, white hair. As you step in, she begins stepping towards the house as well. And Teledaki speaks out. Sisters, we have guests. It's time to make some food. And we will discuss why they're here. And the older one who's at the door just like and just hobbles in, but as she's moving, there is the clear like indication of, oh, she is older than Sin, but simultaneously it's a controlled, old and slow, deliberate movement. As the oldest one steps in to the small hut, which is at the far end of this, you just begin smelling very sweet and good crafted food just being cooked very quickly from within. The nymph steps towards all of you, and she's probably half a head shorter than even Posey. Looks around towards all of you who have come in, and has this just soft little smile on her face, as if she's not really aware or is almost aloof in her thoughts, and is just taking in the new faces all about her. And it's not even a moment or two that pass as you're there until the older woman steps back out. I have a little something ready, but let's get to the business first. And she just steps out, and she's got this like gnarled staff that she's just like holding from the top, and the top is about 6 foot off the ground, but it still doesn't even go up to like halfway up her hip, or not her hip, but halfway up her torso as she like steps out. And that's when, with her hunched form, you're realizing that she's probably 10 foot tall. But this massive wrinkles and just old gnarled fingers just like steps and moves forward and begins looking towards all of you. We know who sent you then, but we don't know why you've been sent. So then, we can discuss this over food, or we can begin finding out why now. It's up to you.
Kika, you feel Lo's hand just going tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter.
Gives
But after a
Gives it a little comforting squeeze back.
but after a while, he sort of goes, the reason my friends and I are here is because of me.
Okay. So you're our person for today. And then she just like kind of hobbles towards you a little bit. You can tell me what's wrong with you, why you've been sent. Or I could find out quite a lot whilst you eat. But I would need a little bit from you to find it out. A little hair or a drop of blood?
I think it would be easier if I actually say it if you
Then that is
don't mind.
okay.
Um,
It is the difference between knowing what the patient is feeling and what is the patient's body telling us what is wrong with them. So please, tell me.
it's more the it's more the context. I'm
Breathe, boy. Breathe.
I'm here on. I'm here because of the lady in pink.
And there's this moment where the Dryad and the Hag both go, ooh. The Nymph doesn't seem to either know or care who the lady in pink is. Ah, so you've been... And you don't even feel it, but then you look down and you realize she's got one of your hands, it's almost up to the forearm, is cupped in one of her hands. Oh, you've been touched by Thorn, then?
Yeah.
How was your meeting with her, then? Was it a brief experience? Because if so, this could be relatively easy to fix.
About that, this is going to be awkward to explain, so please forgive me in advance.
She just raises a finger to you. The food is actually ready, so you can explain over food. And she just hasn't taken her hand from you yet, but just kind of holds your hand. And you know the way a nana would hold your hand? It's got the firmness of authority, but simultaneously it's got the firmness of authority, but it's also got the gentle touch to it. The firmness of, we're going this way, but also, I'm not hurting you.
Oh, so we've just got a chain now, all forming.
Daisy chain, you fuckers, let's go.
She's leading Loyalty and Loyalty's leading Kika.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're going this
Kika,
way.
your other hand is touched by the nymph who's just smiling down at you with this bright, beautiful, white-teethed smile, and she's just joining in this fun little daisy chain she's seeing.
All the feathers start fluffing up again of, what do I do?
I, of course, curtsy and insult and say, thank you for your hospitality.
The Dryad again bows her head because the other two just go in. Just for yourself, whilst it is appreciated that you speak the language of us, the most native, it is seen as being rude to speak in a language that your guests cannot fully understand. So unless all of you can speak Sylvan, we will refer to common.
King replies, I am restricting it only to pleasantries.
Then you will restrict it to nothings.
As you wish.
We must be mannerly to our guests, if that is quite all right with you.
But of course.
And she steps in, and do the rest of you follow? A plate of food appears in front of Serenus, who just goes, no. Just holding a badger.
On the head.
I'm sure by the time we're done, he'll have named the badger.
I'm just imagining the badger with his legs splayed out like a hat on Serenus' head. But it's sort of... I'm going to make a really, really weird reference now. There is a badger in The Fox and the Hound who looks like he's very, very grizzled and has a beard. So I'm just basically imagining that badger on his head, but every now and again the badger's just going.
Oh, old boy.
This sleepy old badger is minding his own business on the head of Serenus. Okay, you were going to say something, it looked like. Okay.
Nope.
You make your way in. The hut is much larger on the inside than it seemed to the exterior, where it looked like it was maybe only 10 or 20 foot across. Inside, it's actually the size of a large mess hall for a keep or a castle. As you step in, you just see that there is already food floating towards the table. Bits of lamb, bits of boar, wines, honeys, milks. Anything you think of would be nice for a meal happens to be there. The sisters sit on there's essentially a table which has a semicircle at its top and a flat point to the other side, like just a square. And that is where the guests will sit, but the sisters sit at the top semicircle. Loyalty, you're sat down towards the side next to the nymph. And anyone else may sit where they like. The oldest sister, the hag figure, sits at the top of the table. And food is thrown out and prepared for you, and it smells good. And as you're just looking at it, and there's some hesitant looks amongst you, you just see that the nymph, for the first time, like alerts herself as if she's just woken up, and looks about. The food here is a gift. It binds no one to this place. It is a gift amongst friends, given out freely to the child who is most beloved by the lady in red.
King will feed Cat first, but then she'll
Cat
start to eat as well.
explodes.
Catch is not a friend.
Cat does
Does
not
he
explode.
actually?
No, Cat does not explode.
You have to
Would you
specify!
like-
You
really?
have to specify!
Cat does
Well,
not
if my
explode.
familiar, who is technically a fey spirit in an animal body, if he explodes from eating the local cuisine, that's probably just normal.
Ooh,
It's
this chili is hot.
Yeah, it's
Spicy.
just like, oh shit, we're having that today? Fuck yes.
It's gonna blow your nuts off. And everything else.
Apparently.
So, as you all sit down and you look about to yourselves, the food is there, and I know the inside check was thrown out, and it does seem like it's just the there's a sincerity to her, almost like akin to an excited child that over shares. Like, you know, the kind of kid where if you say, "I like your shirt," the kid will go, "Thanks, my mom stole it from Target." Just lying does not exist to them.
Okay.
And this is where the oldest sister doesn't actually speak to anyone or begin eating her food before looking down towards Loyalty and going, "Sirha. My name is Sirhat."
Good to meet you. They call me Loyalty. My traveling companions.
Who gave you that name?
I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize for things you cannot give. So then, where does your story with the lady in pink begin. And she just raises a finger before you speak. To note here, those folk of the Fae who have not given their names to you here today, you may refer to them as their colours should you know them. The lady in red and the lady in pink, for example. You stand on the threshold. Do not utter the names, for it is if you call them from the front of their house. But this is a safe place. And they must be guests here, and mannerly. Should they be anything else, well then they are not Fae.
Honey, just as an aside, can you confirm the spelling of the old
I posted
woman's
it. I
name?
posted it in Roll20.
Okay, thank you.
Just very quickly as well, when Loyalty entered the hut before me, did I sense any issue with concentration on the protection from good and evil that I've got on?
None. Absolutely
was
none.
literally just thinking that, Kay.
But it's not like in the sense.
It's
of,
not like gotcha, bitch.
It's not. I mean, in the sense of they didn't cross into another realm, which I then couldn't concentrate on.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Like they're
No.
not.
Yeah.
They,
Another plane would fumble with sort of magics like that,
Yeah.
but no, you didn't get that.
So as far as I'm aware, it's still on the prime material. As far as I'm aware,
Also, protection from evil and good is not concentration.
it's.
It is. We've all been very aware of you trying to break our concentrations of it in Okar curls.
Oh no, straight up.
Stop being immune to charm and let my vampires eat you!
Sorry.
So we just kind of look at the food and go, "Oh, I don't." But maybe I can try some.
It is probably the most bizarre thing you've ever felt. Wittek is just at the very core of your chest. Feels like there's something empty there.
I have no soul.
Does this unit have a soul?
Oh.
We made the same reference out loud, I was just muted.
Require fueling. It's a little thick. Sorry. Sorry, I'm giggles today.
So, was there a question to me from someone, or?
The only thing that I asked was just to
Her
confirm the
name,
spelling
which
of
is
Sirha's name.
Cirha.
Yeah, which I have now. So thank you.
Nesu.
So begin at the beginning.
Usually that's an ideal place to start.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well. Last I remember is I think I was 18. We just got to a we'd stopped off for the night because we were performing the next day, and there was them. I went over, said hi. They ran off, and when he's saying this, he's sort of shaking like he's trying to hold back tears. And then and then I ran. I ran. I was angry. I was sad. confused, and then and and then her.
It seems you might have drawn her attention, but you said this was when you were younger. How old are you now?
Uh, 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 mm, well, when I left, I thought I was 18, but from what my companions tell me, it's been 7 years since then.
The nymph and the dryad both seem to almost wince at that statement, and the oldest woman just closes her eyes like she's just heard very unfortunate news. That is a long time for a mortal to be tied to a patron, especially one who is notoriously obsessive. Additionally, you have the problem of being so close to her for so long. She will potentially for a very long time have a touch over you. But you're saying that the lady in red sent you to us.
Yes, about that. Actually, last I actually remember was, yeah, it was just I met her, then I remember a lot of alcohol.
Sounds like one of her balls.
Then these fine folk found me. And
So, what you currently have is a lack of memory. But what
yeah,
you do know is that you served her for the time.
because she tried to I'm sorry.
Dear boy, you don't need to do this all at once. Have a little bit of food and a little bit of honey or milk or wine or your choice, and then begin again when you're ready. We're in no rush here.
Thank you. And Lo does the equivalent of bringing his knees forward. It's almost as if he's slightly unused to the fact that they're furred. So he's sort of
It's a weird
hugging.
texture kind of thing.
Yeah, he's sort of trying to hug his knees sitting on the chair. But it's sort of he sort of does a double take for a second and then just does it anyway.
You see, from what you've told me and how long you've been there with her, her grip upon you is quite tight. Removing that grip is unfortunately near impossible. But you were sent to us by the lady in red. She would not have sent you to us if she did not think there was a solution. I know of one, but it is not. It is a trial to do, and I doubt she would have sent you to us so directly had she not believed you would have a chance. Rather than having power swayed over you by the lady in pink, I believe that the lady in red has offered out a hand. Because whilst you must be bound to someone for the powers that you have gained, I believe that the lady in red wishes to be that for you. Due to the fact that you have left the material and gone to the Fae, it is unsure with your mind whether or not how much of this was agreed upon. And agreements are very important. She has a history in the past of taking people and being this sort of way. And in the past, some people have tried to just run from her, but she will find them again. But she cannot take you if someone else can say you are a part of their group. So I believe the lady in red has offered the opportunity for you to be a servant of hers, for her to be your patron instead. But to even begin that discussion is to invoke a trial. It is not easy, but all of her acolytes, her followers, those that she cares to, have had some form of this trial, be it the simplest of hurdles or a task laid out in front of them. For to know the name of the Fae is to be able to request their power. You know the lady in pink's name, and due to your ties to her you can call power. But you must learn the lady in red's name. That will be your trial.
Can you not just ask Kika? Does she not know?
Don't ask me.
Oh.
It don't work like that.
It is not a case of one solution, which it would be potentially that simple, but it is a matter that it must be earned. Otherwise, simply learning the name of a Fae would spread that power out a bit wild. There must be a commitment, an effort made on the part of the person who wishes to become one for the Fae. Which, I believe, due to your unfortunate anxiety, you are quite afraid of the lady in pink and her wrath, aren't you, boy?
I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to stop. I'm sorry. You're so lovely for the food and the shelter and everything. I just want to be. I just want to. I don't even know.
Do you not want to have any ties to a patron?
It's. I wanna be able to help people. Help people. Like me.
Well, and she has a moment where she's looking towards the other two sisters for a moment, and they both nod towards her, and then she nods. I could tell you a little bit of a story if you'd like, about somebody who was forced into a relationship they did not want. somebody who was manipulated by people with power over them, and someone who was much like you, who was in a situation where it was very much so not fair to them, all that was happening to them. Would you like to hear that story?
Yes, please.
Well, that's the Lady in Red story. She began...
Sorry, I just saw Blue's eyes. Sorry.
Wow, thanks.
Sorry, no, it was more. I just saw the eyes just go, what?
I didn't say anything. Giga's
I'm
just,
sorry.
She's just watching, very intently.
No, I'm sorry.
That's the Lady in Red story. She does not wish for love or physical affection or forcing herself towards those that serve her. She asks for kindness to others from them. Specifically, whilst not limited to it, it's more she expertised in that area to protect women who have suffered wrongs done to them. That is an area she is very keen on, because she has experience in it. If you wanted to help people, following her and doing things she asks would help people.
Carry on. Sorry.
Helping the lost child in the woods find their way out. Seeing the couple that are being so harshly treated for their love and giving them a chance to go and live a new life somewhere. Seeing people who are from such opposites that the world about them is angry that they dare even have an affection. Seeing a daughter be manipulated and sold by her father. These are the kind of things that she takes a very unique interest in, and is very keen on protecting those who are in those situations. I imagine she'd probably be here to tell you this herself, but currently she is suffering from anchor withdrawals. Her beloved is not on this plane nor in the airplane. He is gone, unfortunately, as is her boy. As such, her anchors to this place are weakened. It is difficult for the Fae to dance between the planes, but so long as you have an anchor, it does not tax you so much to travel. But I know those kind of things would assist her. And I know those are the kind of things you would like to do, to help others, to show kindness.
Yeah, I want to make I want to make people happy with my dancing, with my stories. See, there was this one time where I was in this pub with my sister. My sister was providing the soundtrack where I was saying this story, and these three kids came up to the stage, right? And one of them was crying, and then I just did this sort of little movement, and he just goes tap to the tap, and the kid. I don't think I've ever seen a kid with a smile that big. I want to do that.
There's a moment of just like where all the wrinkles kind of just mesh, and it's almost like you've just watched putty or clay get moved in regards to how her smile gets onto her face. It's sort of just her hands and just all the different joints are just like curled up underneath her chin as she's listening to you. You want to be kind to the world.
Yeah.
And spread a little joy.
Yeah.
You could definitely do that with her.
You could
Well,
also do that without either of them. You do it already.
The one who has been quiet is not wrong. But there is a problem. The lady in pink has mocked you. She claims you as a form of property, which is not right. But she has done so without contestation at the time. It would have had to have been contested in the moment, which it is not. The only way to ensure that she cannot just keep making demands of you and punishing those around you or yourself is to have someone else and garner their attention and be protected by them whilst also assisting them. Pacts with patrons are not easily broken, and she's saying this while pointing down towards you, posing, but they can be overruled by new pacts, provided you believe that you have been done wrong in your old pact, which, to all my understanding, you don't even remember your old pact, what you agreed with, even if you did agree, which makes your pact, by all accounts, null and void, but it must be taken by someone new. Someone new must fill that slot so that she cannot make a story that will then fall into it.
She's already hurt too many people already.
She's a bit of a skank, honestly.
Okay.
It's not right. What she does to people is not right.
Anything that I can do to make people happy and to protect people that I care about. That's what I want. And you sort of shooting a sort of side glance to Runara when he says the line, people that I care about have gotten hurt.
Well,
And he sort of looks back at his hooves again.
oh boy. I think it is safe to say then that I think I have not clarified this, so let me do so now. You would serve as a servant to the lady in red. But that does not mean you are there for your life. You're there until the lady in pink loses interest in you, which is no mark against you, but she is a fickle person and would most likely, over time, look to something else. But if you've had a pact and a bargain struck with the lady in red, well, that bargain takes priority over the old one, even when it is fulfilled. You would be free of both of them, but you must follow a new place, if even for a little while. I know little when I say it. Time isn't exactly a point for me and my sisters, but for you, it could be years, but it would not be your life. There must be some give to this to take away this issue, and you would be doing good in that time. And as she says that, she just like strikes her index finger with her nail of her thumb, and a little bit of her blood just like trickles onto the table, and she just draws a circle with it. I swear it, as she's just drawing the symbol on it, and then wipes it away into nothing. I swear to you, you would do good for people, and yourself, and it would keep you and your friends safe from her. If she were to make advances against you, if she were to try and reclaim you, it would be her breaching the protections of the Lady in Red's contract. And that's not a healthy lifestyle. So if she were to do it once, she would never do it again. Mostly because it would give the Lady in Red a chance to repeat history, which she has done before. You would be safe. Nothing that you would not want to do would be asked of you. But you would also have to make a try. Now then. And she just like sits up, and there is no food left in front of her, as if it's just instantly gone. This is not something that I can ask of you immediately. Sit a while. There will always be a little bit of wine or honey or milk or whatever you desire here to drink. Me and my sisters will go to a private place. Just ask for us. But you may talk with your friends about this, as I'm sure you would appreciate having a moment of quiet to yourself and them to discuss this. And she just begins pulling herself up.
But thank you. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
She just lifts a hand up to you, and as she does, the nail on her thumb just disappears. Like the claw, which is almost like a few inches long, just disappears to just like a normal thumb, and she just rubs away the tears on the side of your cheek. You're quite welcome, dearie. And she just turns and just begins hobbling off, and the sisters get up as well. And they leave you in this room by yourselves. And we'll take a break.
Oh boy.
Yee.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
Dun, dun.
All you gotta do is know my name.
Time to unpack all of that. Okay.
What's my name? What's my name? Say it louder.
Stole that song from me, son of a bitch.
Oh, I stole the 2 songs from you.
Okay, we will be right back. And we're back.
Welcome back. So, what has occurred is the party have been left to their own devices to discuss the potential of the Lady in Red becoming the patron to the party Bard and Warlock loyalty. I have to say Bard and Warlock because he's not the only Warlock. Fucking 3 of you bastards. Don't worry, Curls, your patron will come in soon.
I saw a chance and I took it.
No.
You're next, bitch!
King, seeing
Speaking of bitch,
No,
Yeah,
it was the
thanks.
fact. It was the fact that you were taking a sip and it just said yours.
You just start saying, "Oh,
I'm assuming the other one says mine.
Yeah,
Just
Spooker's
mine
a
and
mug.
mine.
Yeah, Spooker's a mug that says mine. His mother bought
Anyway,
them for
in the room,
us.
in the room.
anyway.
In the room.
King, seeing Lo in distress, will say to her, I was walking down the road one night when I passed an apple pie and a lemon cheesecake. I thought to myself, the streets are strangely deserted tonight.
That's a trifle worrying.
Hey!
I'm done. I'm out of here."
The stream just self-destructs, everything ends.
the desire to make the hag walk back in and slap you is palpable.
it would mean that King got their just desserts.
Yes.
It's gone too far. It's gone too far.
Yes, I'm just gonna walk away. You just destroy them, whatever you want to do. I'm alright.
I think I'm watching Kay go through the stages of grief.
Nope.
It's weird, King is one of my most serious characters yet.
She is the pun queen.
I will
Ping
kill
to
you.
you.
True.
I will kill you all one day.
You may continue to try. Anyway.
Lo is still curled up on the chair, but I think that he has probably asked for like a warm milk drink. I was saying this earlier when everyone was on break, but it's just the equivalent of the hot chocolate, but with everything on it. So it's whipped cream, marshmallows, cherry on top. He's just sitting there.
The Ned Flanders hot chocolate.
Yeah. And just ruminating.
People who say the F and N word piss me off. Ned Flanders.
And he's sitting there. The tail is sort of doing this kind of thing.
So, I kind of look around to the group. How are we all feeling about this?
Alright, I think.
It's certainly interesting. The thought that Lo could be transferred this contract or agreement between one Fae to another. But then does that not defeat the object of trying to break your pact? Making a pact with someone else is just jumping into another potentially disagreeable agreement.
I'm actually with Runara on this one.
There's got to be an
Normally,
option B, right?
normally I would suggest perusing the contract for various issues, but of course this is the Feywild where such things don't hold the same way. There is no contract per se to peruse.
Physical opposite, yeah. But why commit to a Fey entity? you've got an interest in Verona, I'm sure she could help.
Pulls out a pamphlet.
You already know her name.
That is less a patron and more of a divine being.
What's to stop her helping?
If she chooses that path, sure, but there's a difference in relationship.
Yeah, it's a different relationship for sure, but if they can break or intervene with any pact given, help people. Verona helps people. If that's what you want to be able to do, then maybe going face to face is the best option. Verona wouldn't behold you to any sort of pact or rules or limitations.
I believe your divine inspiration would require service as any other would.
I don't think service to a god is the same as being tied to a pact with any otherworldly entities.
You are not incorrect.
I mean, they're not that dissimilar. If you went around and started doing bad stuff, I'd feel like she probably wouldn't appreciate it.
Well, put it this way: if Lo doesn't want to have anything to do with this lady in pink, but lady in pink is quite aggressively not agreeing with that. If one day I decided I no longer to follow Verona, I don't think she would just care that I'm happy. That's all.
True, but you would be removed of certain benefits.
Oh, of course. There's always benefits to the agreements or the commitments we make.
At any rate, this is very much a personal decision on Lowe's part. Such service, hacks, or contracts, or otherwise, are very life-changing.
There's just one thing I don't quite get. If, they said it was very difficult to remove the influence of the lady in pink, but it's also a trial to learn the name of the lady in red. So either way, if you're going with the lady in red, you have to go through a trial only to enter into another pact, whereas you could go through an ordeal just to not have any pact.
Yeah, and as far as we understand, going through this trial to get a new pack doesn't get rid of the old one. It just supersedes it. The other one is still there. But it doesn't mean the lady in pink won't keep coming.
But they said that it basically makes it void if it's overwritten.
It doesn't stop her from coming. Until she loses interest, I'm sure that's all they said.
And
I
that
don't know how long that's going to take.
I mean, that could happen regardless of what he does, whether he decides to break the pact or get a new one. She could get even angrier if he breaks the pact somehow.
Conversation is going on. Lo has, and I'll let you decide if I roll anything for this hand because I think it would be funny. Lo is going to attempt to sort of get up off the chair as silently as he can and find the nearest corner. Because Because all I'm picturing is, if it's a bad roll, all everyone would hear is, as this conversation is happening, is
The chair.
yeah. But while he's walking around, the bird is still on his shoulder.
Yep.
Yep.
Just contently chill.
And Lowe's is there, sort of not entirely sure if he should be stroking, so he's just sort of letting the finger hover just a small distance away from the chest of this bird, and just sort of but he moves it anyway, regardless of whether he's touching the bird or not, because he thinks that he is.
The bird leans in solely for the case in point of how dare you deny me scritches.
Yeah, well, we can weigh up the pros and cons of either decision all we want, but unfortunately, it's not up to us.
Unfortunately, there's arguments both for one and for the other. It's not an easy choice. But they said it doesn't have to be made now.
Bird, can I ask you some questions?
Of course. Scoots
Can I-
over.
Can I have your hand again?
Offers hand.
Thank you. You've got this connection thing with the lady in red, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any pros, any cons, any one of those weird contractual loophole thingies?
I mean, I think our relationships may be a little more complicated than. Well, it sounds more. Well, I mean, yours is also quite complicated, but it's complicated in a different way. It's different, really. It's the only way to explain. It's different, cause like she knew me like since I was like a baby. Like when I was a little hatchling, like little egg. When I was just an egg, she was already around.
Loyalty is sort of very softly giggling.
Fluffs up slightly. What? Everybody's
You-
a baby at some point.
No. Forgive me, Boo Boo, but you would be the cutest thing as a baby. Just blue ball. Anyway, carry on.
I have been told several times by Kayak that I was very spherical. But that's not what we're talking about.
Carry on.
So,
Carry on, Boo Boo.
yeah, I mean, you know that I call her auntie. I very rarely use the term patron. Everybody is using it a lot in the last sort of 10 minutes. Because I don't, like, think of her like that. She's more, she's like one of my many aunties, because I have several. They all just look after me, and she had her own way of, like, looking after me, and I guess that was one of them. Which doesn't sound anything like your relationship, if I'm honest. So I don't know if she'd do the same for you. She might do. But for me, it's more of like a family kind of thing. And she gives me advice when I need it, and she always knows what to say to cheer me up, which is really nice. And she taught me to wave flower crowns when I was little.
Flower crowns.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
They're very pretty.
I want to see your flower crowns.
We can make some later, perhaps.
Yeah. That would be that would be good right now. Yeah. So you mentioned kayak.
Yeah.
So did she look out for the two of you?
Well, yes, but if we're being specific of the conversation that's going on right now, no. She doesn't. I don't think he has his own. He has his own magic. Is probably the easiest way to explain explain that.
Yeah, it's I don't. It's kind of the wildest magic I've ever encountered.
Oh, believe me, there's worse. Not worse. That's not the right word.
No, I think I know what you mean.
There,
There's certain things that the human voice can do, and then there's Kayak who can go up a range above, and I'm sitting here like, how?
it's the lungs. What were we talking about?
I'm not talking of the. I'm not talking the magic thing. I'm talking about the lady in red as a person. She
Well,
kept an eye on the two of you.
yeah. I mean, often came for visits. Her and Mum liked to have tea quite often. She'd come around for tea, and they would just like chat about things because they were just friends, you know. There was no weirdness that's like happening here. They were just friends. And then we were born, and so it was like, oh, my friend has had a baby, so things happened, kind of.
Baby Blue. Baby Bluebird. It's cute. Key and visits and family things would be nice.
We went to see them a few times in the plane of air. Those were nice little trips. Because that's what she spent some time there because of her and Samoshi and that, because they were together.
Whoa, back up.
What?
Plane of air.
Yeah, you never been?
You gotta talk.
You never been? It's
I've
a
never
lovely
been.
place. There's no floor. It's great.
There's no floor? How do I dance?
Wittick's just kind of over in the corner, just like talking about the planes again. Oh!
Oh, it's no floor. How do I dance? Oh, they have their own dancing there. Dad's very good at it, but he won't tell anybody. He's really good at it.
Dude, new dancing.
There's sky dancing. It's very popular with the Aarakocra. Not as big of a hit here on the material plane, which is probably why Dad doesn't talk about it. But no, in the plane of air, he's very good at it.
Air dancing.
Sky
Air
dancing.
dancing.
Yeah.
I need to see air dancing.
Maybe
Bluebird, you've got to introduce me to sky dancing.
I mean, technically you can do it anywhere, just not necessarily safely.
You can skydance, but for a limited time.
Sorry, I just said you can sky dance if you want to.
I could
Leave the air behind.
I mean, I can potentially do it here, but it's harder. It's easier to do in the plane of air.
No, not now.
Plus,
No,
we're
roof.
talking about other things now. No, you can't do it with a roof. No, but also, it's harder. It's harder here. It's easier in the plane of air, and also in the plane of air, other people can do it. We're getting distracted. Sorry.
No, Bluebird. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, I needed Bluebirdness.
Oh, thank you.
I needed the floof. when Lo does that, the little bird just does a hop. Because Lo's shoulders are just... But the bird just looks at him going, what the fuck?
You've been dancing and shaking around a lot, and that bird is just like anchored to your shoulder. And it's just like wah, 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 wah. You know how like a chicken's head will stay on point no matter where you move its body, like that. But it's just the legs staying still, and the rest of the body's going, "What is happening?"
Aww.
But it seems content.
I mean, it's... From what you say of the lady in red, she sounds a million miles away from... Gotta use the right terminology here. Titania. No, the lady in pink, sorry. I don't say Titania, that's Stacy Brain.
I was about to ask, did you say that out loud?
No.
Important clarification.
Oh.
That's
why-
Stacy Brain.
yeah, that's why I paused and I was like, is someone going to clarify something there? Because that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's on me, Han.
Well, like I said, I don't know if my situation is very typical. Because even like what they've described is kinda, but not quite, how our relationship is. So I don't.
Lo takes his other hand and sort of lays it on top of Kika's and sort of goes, did you get thorns?
Thorns?
Mind games.
No, none of that. We played actual games.
Mind games? Do you mean like Monopoly?
Ah, yes, One Night Werewolf.
They're reindeer games. I don't even know how reindeers play Monopoly.
I mean, we
Tell-
probably have different games to you, but yeah.
They tell you one thing and then the next day it's another, then it changes again, then again.
No.
So you've had easy runnings with your auntie? Sort of
Well,
good
yeah,
home.
because she's my auntie. And I guess if we're talking about it, I guess again our relationship is a little bit different for everyone else. Because there's the whole technicality of her and my mom and when I was born and I got named as godchild. So there's that. Sounds strange to say it aloud.
Godchild.
Yeah.
Godchild.
So
Pretty sure at the start of the campaign, Curls called me on and was saying, "Wait a minute, is she your literal fairy godmother?"
yeah, she is. Yeah.
No, Lo is sort of looking
I'm
up
gonna
as if
fight you
as
now.
if Godchild is like the best name for a
Don't throw
man
it, yeah.
ever.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Her. All of her characters have been her doing in my world. Not my fault.
Yeah, as I just said, Lo is sort of going over the word Godchild, and it's almost as if he's thinking like it's the best band name ever. But as this conversation is going on,
So yeah, as much as it literally sounds fake, yeah, she is my fairy godmother. So if anything were to happen to Mom, which is what's happened now, well, I have her, which is what's happened.
don't just have her though. I mean, you got Tick. You got Spark. You got Milady. And you've got Petal.
that now. But you have to remember that when everything happened in Neverwinter, we'd only just met. Things are a bit different now, but they were... I mean, they're still really scary, but they're even scarier then.
This is the thing, Bluebird. Is... when I was in that wood, I was in the same position as you. On my own. Didn't even have anybody. Couldn't even remember if I had anybody. Didn't even know what body I even had. Now that's, yeah.
Yeah,
We're not even thinking about that one.
no, it's not a good time.
No. I guess what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't mind like a distant cousin or something.
I'm used to a very large family.
Yeah, but family like a weird cousin with these.
You mean like Auntie Glory? Or, Auntie Legacy? Or, all my other aunties, Hope. or their two sons who we also need to find. Thanks, Daz.
Can remember all the names of Glory's.
I'm trying to remember. Faith, there we go. Faith is the one I was
There we
forgetting.
go.
Faith, it got there eventually. Faith is the one I was forgetting.
That's just one side of it.
Thank you, Sadie.
Sadie
like,
knows. Sadie remembers. Sadie remembers all their names. Is trying to help you.
Mother,
I feel like
you
cats
simply
walking around the
forgot.
Feywild.
Lo sits there for a second. He's sort of a little bit okay.
Mhm. I mean,
And
like, because you have to remember that I'm child number 2. Kayak came first. He has a different godmom, you see.
just sort of just goes sidles in, just goes, I need a hug again.
Feathery hug. I'm sorry, I have a habit of just talking about stuff that is like...
No,
it's
no,
normal.
no.
It's normal for me, and I know it's not...
Bluebird. You're amazing. And your hugs are amazing.
Thank you.
And your wings are far too soft. I need this. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, I'm good.
Pat.
There, it will be okay.
I think I've made a decision.
I don't want to pressure you or anything.
No. No pressure. No pressure.
I mean,
If anything, I feel like I'm pressuring you. So
No, it's okay. Like I said though, I mean, if you I have my auntie, but Kayak doesn't. So, and he gets on fine. So you don't have to have it if you don't want.
Bluebird. Nothing you've said has involved pain or stress or name calling or manipulation or... All you're talking about is... love. If you, wonderful, big, poofy, fluffy you is okay with the lady in red, then what... You get what I'm saying?
I think so.
Now this is for everybody now. Hang on. Getting up. Trying to awkwardly get up on the hooves. Still not 100% used to it. Well, reaccustomed to it. Right. I am taking a tally of sorts. I'm not sure. Workshopping it. Any concerns about this thing? Any pros about this thing? And go.
I mean, I'm gonna look around to everyone else.
It is your decision at the end of the day, but I am fine with it.
Okay, one pro. The lady's fine with it.
I think you're jumping from out of one pond into another, and not thinking about the rest of your possibilities.
That's Chili 2 from Spark.
The lady in pink would leave you alone. In theory.
No, that's not what they said. They said
That
that the pact should proceed, but she might still try.
She would try once, and after that,
She said until she loses interest. How
Which might be once, which might not.
might be once, might be for the rest of your life.
Well, that happens either way, so that's neither a positive nor a negative.
but
Well, you don't know that it happens either way.
but
By the protection.
but can you go in between my horns here, because I need a middle ground. But please.
I don't know if this is a pro or a con, or just something to consider. She kind of sits up a bit, and twiddles her hands a bit.
But dude, can you please come on? Can you please sit on my head, because I need a middle one.
You
So
talking?
this teeny tiny bird just goes.
Thank you.
If you just if you like the sound of this anyway, then this doesn't matter. But if what you're worried about losing if you leave pacts altogether is your kind of abilities, then you don't need a pact to get them. You can get them on your own.
I get what you're saying. I could dance before any of this happened. Fair point.
More than that, yeah, it's hard to explain. The powers and things.
We got
You're
time.
not the powers and things, you're not gonna necessarily lose them without a pact. There are other ways.
Powers don't make the person.
But if that's like a reason that you want to stay in a pact, just like with whoever, then yeah, you don't need a pact for that. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's like I said before. I'm with Auntie, but Kayak isn't, and he still has magic.
I like you, Bird. I want you to stay. Good.
Another one for the middle.
I get what you're saying, Petal. The difficulty is that my own noggin here. It's not like I remember saying yes, and then again I don't ever remember saying no. So it isn't a case. What you're saying is absolutely right. I mean, I can dance without any weird signature legal loophole.
Oh my god.
That's a cool noise, bird.
Sadie!
Anger the world with your question.
I'm gonna go check on her.
Okay. But I
This is just a
don't.
fucking easy session for me, lads. Off you pop.
Sorry. It's more. I don't know if I will ever have the choice between getting out of it or not. Ever. I can't even remember agreeing to it or disagreeing to it. It just happened, and it hurts that I can't remember any of it but pain.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't have an answer there.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had the ability to heal that pain.
I know, right?
Imagine if someone like Veronica could give that to you.
About that, actually. I kinda said hi.
Yeah, I heard you. You're not
You
quiet.
heard that?
Uh-huh.
And she did this weird sort of ugly googly here.
She's got her eyes on you.
But yeah,
She's
as much
cool.
as I
mean, she's hot. I don't know.
Did I say that out loud?
She is a married woman.
Yeah, I Anyway,
But as much as I get, you don't need a god to heal either. I can heal. I don't have a god.
okay.
I don't know.
Do you have Percy?
That's a much longer answer than we have time for at the present moment. But trust me, you could do it on your own if that's what you really wanted.
I couldn't have got here without all of you. And there's not much a dancer can do on their own.
Whatever decision you make, you're not going to be on your own. Choose Divine if you choose I choose neither. You're not going anywhere.
Trade spotting, I'm sorry. Choose life, choose this, choose this other thing. Sorry.
A point of correction, though. A dancer could change the world. You do not need us, but we are happy to have you here.
That's reassuring. I just don't want to be the pink pawn anymore. I just want to stop pretending.
You want to be.
I don't know.
It sounds like you want to be you. And perhaps you have to be you on your own.
But if I'm me on my own, then Lady in Pink can still Gah!
Yeah, but then you'd be you. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing.
No, 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 no.
It is.
No, no, no.
It is.
No, 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 no,
Kika takes Loyalty's face in her hands and looks and she goes, "It's a good thing. You're a good thing."
But Lady in Pink, not good thing.
And we'll deal with the lady in pink. Because I'm with the lady in red and they don't get on at all.
This is why I want to go on Team Bluebird.
So let's go with your face. Okay, that was a bit aggressive. I'm sorry. That was a bit aggressive. I'm sorry, but you said you want to stop pretending. Then stop.
Got the point.
Okay, then this is a decision I make for myself.
Yeah, I think that was the point of this.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay.
Then,
Okay.
if it is decided, I shall raise a toast to Lo and her life choices. Cheers.
His.
We get your dinners right, we get his right.
Take up the little glass of milk.
Chocolatey milk.
Lo takes up his over-the-top loaded hot chocolate.
Whatever you do as you.
Yes. Yes. And I will make my own dance moves. Yes. Don't worry about that, Bluebird. We'll get to that. Like the sky dancing.
Easier in the plane of air.
I will still try. Okay, I've made the decision. Okay. Okay.
Definitely
now...
not listening from around the corner. The three sisters do then come back in. Definitely not a case of the nymph, the dryad, and then the hag all just like
Scooby-Dooing around the corner.
yeah. Well, the difference is they have the height to make it work.
Oh, I all I want to do now is roll a perception check to see if Lo has actually noticed if they've creeped up behind.
They haven't creeped up, and it's kind of really hard to not notice the three of them.
No.
They're quite
I don't know. I'm
loud in their appearance. They step in and sit back down where they were. So then, have you come to a opinion, Mr. Loyalty?
I think so.
Then what is your choice, dear boy?
Want to be with the lady in red. If she wants to help people and make the world a better place, I want to help her in that goal and in turn make myself a better person.
Very well then. Then you must, and you may do this with your friends, but those of you who wish not to assist him, let it be known now. And there is no shame in not wanting to go along with this. No one?
I'll help. Of course I'm gonna help.
I mean, what does
It is
it
his
entail?
path to make, but I am always happy to help.
Yeah, what do we have to do?
There are 10
It doesn't
tails.
hurt, does it?
It shouldn't. Might pang the heart, but nothing else. there are 10 tails, you will encounter 3 of them. These 3 tails will be what you use to answer the question that I posed to you. What is the name of the lady in red? Go through these experiences, which shall be portions of her life, one by one by one. They may not be in order, or they may be. Experience them, and together learn the answer. You will only have the 3 times which you may learn the name within. You will need to listen for it. You will need to look. It is as if you are invisible on a stage. The play is happening all around you, and the answers are there. You just need to know where to look or where to listen.
Okay.
You should be under no threat during these, though that does not mean the scenes you may see won't be harrowing. And these are plays. If you get involved in the play, you are an actor for the scene, and then must contribute. It does not mean you must, nor does it mean that sitting idly by will still grant you what you need. It'll be your call to make. The ideals of the Lady in Red are to ensure that nobody has to go through the same pains that she has. To protect the innocent, guide the wayward. You cannot walk someone through the door. Just for the example as to why we cannot just admit her to you and you become part of her and she become part of you. You must earn the place. You must walk the path. But should you do so, you will learn how to appreciate what you still have, and you will know what you might want to do in your own future. And if I heard you correctly, you'll learn a lot more about her whilst you learn about yourself too. With this said now, should you wish to not aid in this, should you believe that you are not willing to trust the Fae, which is understandable, there is no qualms and you may leave. And she just motions to the door, which then just opens by itself.
I look at loyalty. Do you want my help? Because I'll go.
I want you to do what your heart tells you to do. See, it's right there. It makes that weird ba-dum, 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 ba-dum noise, but sometimes it talks.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't know. Okay. Everything in me is telling me to go, but I will stay. Who knows, you might need something shot from 150 feet.
This petal is steel.
I really wish you'd stop calling me that.
The steel pedal is a metal fucking name, I'm just saying.
Well,
It is.
Well, tell me, what would you prefer?
I'm sure any name I gave you would not stop you. Posy's fine.
Don't yes. I'll explain later.
Okay.
Uh, your name is important.
I
But
know that.
yes, but this is how I protect the people I care about. Or at least I'm trying. Kinda. Haven't worked it out yet.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll be over here with a crossbow.
Okay then. I'll think of something involving arrow shooting.
We'll
Swift.
talk about
I'll
it
call you
later.
Swift.
We'll talk
Swift.
about it later.
Okay. Cool. Never mind.
Curls and Stacy. We're just gonna make our own unique characters every single time. Every single time. God damn it, I ship it.
That's on you.
It is unfortunate the question wasn't something more along the lines that of something I may have studied, but I am happy to help you in this.
Oh, that's a very polite but very noble nod.
If it had been something obvious, like the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, I might have known the answer.
Is it a Faerunian swallow or no?
A king has to know these sort of things.
Renara, leave the jokes to King.
Sorry.
Well, she is a joking.
I take it back. I rescind my help.
The hand just looks at you like, you have lost your privileges, get out.
The lady in red doesn't like your humour.
No, she finds it hilarious. I find it insufferable.
Sorry.
Who's next?
I've already said I'm good. I'm coming.
I'll pull out a spare little holy symbol out my bag. It's just a small little symbol of Brian on a piece of string, and just place it in Lo's hand. Me and
Ooh,
Bruno
shiny.
me, Bjorn and I will we've got our eyes on you, don't worry. We'll be with you.
So, round the neck, yeah?
Oh, it's just yeah, sure. Wherever you want to put it.
Round the neck, yeah.
It might not fit over the...
The horns.
Fair point. Okay,
Here.
give me a second.
I'll untie it and I'll tie it. Help tie it round.
Okay.
I think that's all of you.
Wittick?
Tick?
I have no real horse in this race
Yes,
here.
I'll go.
Tick approves.
The one I praise too is a giant, literally. So.
Oh, you pray to just one of the faces of them then.
Well, the leader of the pantheon. Chromis, you know. There is
She
his
looks
father.
like she's about to try and correct you, but then goes, it's not worth the effort.
I mean, technically, Antium is the king, but it's yeah.
I more refer to the fact that certain gods present them in ways to be worshipped by certain people, but that does not mean that they are all different gods. There's a bit of crossover between pantheons.
Okay.
Once again, we don't have time to unpack all of that.
Let's hope there's something to read in one of these plays. I do want to be useful.
No. With a play, you have to absorb it all.
I'm sure there'll be like a program or.
Or a pamphlet. You like pamphlets?
As you're all talking amongst yourselves, one of you looks back, or a few of you eventually, and the three sisters aren't there. And I want Posey, I want Loyalty, and I want Kika to roll me a d10 each, please.
Oh, it's us! Oh, we get to pick a story!
Oh no.
Oh, a rock throwing friend.
Let's take a look. It's in a book.
I've
You
picked
stay
story
here with
4.
the puppies unless you're back at the time we're doing this, in which case you came with us.
Oh yeah, no, it's such a good be. I'm here too! He just jumps into the play.
I've picked story number 4. Lucky 9. 9.
9.
9.
Okay then. And because Kika was the first to roll, her story goes first. You look about yourselves, and you feel cold under your feet, and you look down. You're maybe up to your shins in snow. But it doesn't bite you, the cold. There's just this very soft, almost like a mist, like kind of misty rain effect, but it's just the snow just slowly building up on top of all of you, but it doesn't bite into you. And you begin hearing the sound of someone running and heavy trudging through snow. And you see, looking off, you're within a forest. In the peak of winter, not a leaf on any tree. All barren, clouds reaching up to the sky. You hear the sound of wolves. And you hear the sound of panicked breath. As you see a young woman, what you could describe as close to 18, maybe 20, as your comprehension of what her appearance looks like to humans. Her hair is long and goes back into this very beautiful braid that works all the way down her back. She is wearing a beautiful red dress as she is throwing off the kind of bridal mask that covers over someone's face at a wedding, and is throwing it down, grabbing at her finger and throwing a ring away, crying as she is running. And that's where we're ending the session.
Ooh.
Dun dun
The
dun!
plot
the lady-
depends.
As the Lady in Red's nymph stage gets told the story of.
Mm.
Catch us
Rolls.
next time on Plight Princess for Red Wedding.
A nice day for
Oh, no.
Red Wedding.
I'm ending it there. Like, bye Twitch. That's it. Farewell.